Still only taking 10 to 20 milliamps, I see. But why is it only taking 10 to 20 milliamps? Let's go through our power rails and try and figure that out. It's clear that we have PP3V3 underscore G3 hot. If we didn't have PP3V3 underscore G3 hot, we would not be getting 20 volts on the charger. The charger has to communicate with chips called the CD3215s, a USB-C muxing chip, in order to output 20 volts instead of 5 volts. And that CD3215 chip and associated circuitry is powered by the PP3V3 underscore G3 hot rail, which is similar to PP3V42 underscore G3 hot in the older MacBooks. Let me open a schematic and board view for this one so that we can go through the power rails, try and figure out which one's missing, why it's missing, and fix it. So the first rail we're going to check on is our PP bus. Everybody along the PP bus. PP bus. Our PP bus is present. Next up, PP5ES5. PP5ES5 can be found on the opposite side of the board. Let's see what we get in our PP5ES5. A steady 5 volts. Lovely. On to the next power rail, PP3V3S4. Let's see if we're up to an S4 state at this point. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. One way to find out. We're not making it to an S4 state. But PP5ES5 is there. Well, let's see if every other S5 rail is present as well. Let's see if we have PP3V3 underscore S5. We need to make sure we have all of our S5 rails present. And it looks like it is. So we have our S5s, we don't have our S4s. So I'm thinking that I probably shouldn't have looked over this part as quickly as I did. These probe points look... I hate using this word. It's one of the worst words on earth, and it's been co-opted by some of the worst people. Problematic. I do have to find a synonym for that, so I never use that word again. My apologies to anybody I may have offended. Those two probe points are for backlight data line. Now, do I really care about backlight data lines when the computer's not even turning on? No. That's not going to be cause for concern. We're going to check and see what else may be wrong here. What else could be cause for concern? Let's check out our S4 rails. Since the S5 rails appear to be there, S5 rails appear to be doing their job. Also, I am kind of curious to see if this chip that was right near where the liquid damage was is not doing its job or simply not being told to do its job. One way to find out, we're going to take a look at pin 3 and see if PP3V3S4 is being told to turn on or not. Because perhaps it's simply not there because the chip is bad, even though it is being told to turn on. You never know. Alright, it's not being told to turn on. I wonder where PMEN P3V3S4 comes from. Alright, time to check and see if any of these S4 rails that are not working have short circuits on them. Perhaps that's what's causing them to be problematic. Did I just use that word for real? Problematic. Problematic. Not a problem, just problematic. 2 kiloohms to ground. Not shorted. Let's go through the rest of our rails and try and figure out what's missing. What is this PP3V3S5G nonsense? When did they start adding a G? Yeah, PP3V3S5G apparently is a separate rail from PP3V3S5. PP3V3S5G is missing! I wonder if it's shorted to ground. What the hell is this nonsense? We have PP3V3S5 and PP3V3S5G. Who comes up with this crap? Alright, so 2 kiloohms to ground, that is not shorted. Now you gotta figure out where this rail comes from. So where do you come from, PP3V3S5G? Here we go. So this takes PP3V3S5 and turns it into PP3V3S5G. U8205 is a chip that's located right under the CPU. So what we need to do here is see if this chip is being told to turn on. PMEN P3v3 S5G is a signal that's going to be going to this chip that tells it to turn on. That's supposed to be showing up at a specific pin. How am I supposed to tell which pin that is, though, in Paul Daniels' software? Doesn't even work. Well, I'm going to take a guess that these two pins over here are combined together, and Paul Daniels' software sees it as one pin, because Paul Daniels' software is problematic. Now, let's plug this thing in and see what we're getting at the enable. Put this back in a voltage mode, and it's not even being asked to turn on. We're not even getting PP3v3S5G. PMEN P3v3 S5G is a signal that comes from R7884, or does it? Interesting. Where does this signal come from? This is quite the phantom signal. Hello? Hello? Ali Ali oxen free. Okay, this signal comes out of U7800, which is our PMIC. And R7884 is going to be the 0 ohm resistor that allows that to happen. This all comes back to U7800, which is the PMIC. The PMIC can be seen right over here. And oh my Jesus. What is that? What is this? What are those little capacitors doing over there? It looks like they're touching. Ah! PB bus PMIC is touching ground. PP bus PMIC is touching ground. That's awful and problematic. Problematic. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to Rehot PMIC, because that'll fix it, and maybe replace those two capacitors with ones that work, that are not as problematic. Rehot PMIC, bro. I learned to rehot the PMIC to fix the board from my mentor, Jessa Jones, at iPad Rehab. If you're unsure how to fix a motherboard, always try rehotting the PMIC, because that's what Jessa Jones at iPad Rehab would want you to do. Jessa Jones especially likes receiving phones somebody already was courteous enough to reflow the PMIC for her, saving her valuable time, especially if it's an underfilled PMIC with his underfill keeping the balls squished together. Always make sure to reflow your underfilled PMIC before sending your board to Jessa Jones at iPad Rehab. Now we're going to put those two capacitors back. No. No. There's no place to grab it by. At least Trump knows where to grab it by. Where do I grab it by? Okay, now we wait for it to cool off a little bit. Let's see if we have any different results now that we have rehotted our PMIC. I'm going to plug this in. And let's see how many amps we're taking. Before we were taking 10 to 20 milliamps at 20 volts. And now it looks like we are taking 450 milliamps at 20 volts, which means that we are likely turning on. So our rehotting of our PMIC might have just fixed it. Oh boy. All right. Let's see if we get a picture on the screen. Oh man, there's nothing I like more than fixing a board using the advice that I learned from Jessa Jones at iPad Rehab from Practical Board Repair School. There's nothing I like more than deferring to my friend and confidant and her showcasing that she knows, that she does indeed know how to make not only iPhones work, but MacBooks work. Let's see if this good old MacBook gives me a happy little Apple logo. As you can see, we get an Apple logo on the screen. The machine is booting up. And thanks to our rehotting of the PMIC, which we learned from Jessa Jones at iPad Rehab, who teaches Practical Board Repair School, this MacBook works just fine. Thank you very much, Jessa Jones, and as always, from Jessa, I hope you learned something. That being said, we're going to move on to the next MacBook. Do you have a MacBook that needs to be fixed? Come by our store, which is open to the public at 186 First Avenue in Manhattan. Are you located outside of New York? No problem. Send us a machine from anywhere in the world by going to our website and clicking on the mailbox, or simply heading over to sendyourmacbook.com. That's sendyourmacbook.com, where you'll be redirected to our mail-in instructions page that includes the form and the directions on how to send us a MacBook for repair. We have a live chat where you can speak with us about the repair that you need, a phone number where a representative will pick up during our open hours, and a contact form where you can contact us about repairs.